After getting a lot of knowledge upon DPIAs in the last few videos, in the next 3 videos we are going to talk about the various challenges that you can face while conducting DPIO. The first video we are going to talk about the foundational ones, and we are going to discuss the operational one in the next video. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see a new video on data privacy, and as I mentioned, we are going to talk about the basic foundational challenges while conducting a DPIA or implementing a DPIA result in any organization. What is DPIA? Data Protection Impact Assessment, a systematic approach that an organization is expected to take to find out if there is any gap in any of the data processing activities that the organization is doing. If they find a gap, if there is a risk, what is the mitigation measure? How would they correct their risk? How would they follow it? These are what you are expected to do when you are doing a DPIA. You should do it regularly. We talked about it in previous videos that DPIA should be done maybe once in 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, depending on the kind of processing, depending on the kind of organization, or at least whenever you are changing your data processing mechanisms or introducing a new mechanism. Now let's talk about the 4 challenges. The first one is identifying the risk accurately. You're not able to understand the risk properly. Why? Because the data flow mechanism itself is not very clearly defined. There is not sufficient documentation about how the data is flowing. There could be straight cases. Someone comes into your office, applies for a job, gets rejected, goes out. There could be complicated cases. He joins in, he works for a few days, then he leaves. Flow of the data is different in both the cases. In one case, the data gets discarded when he does not join or gets rejected. In second case, the data then has to transfer inside the organization, to his department, to the finance department, to the payroll department, to the compliances to process his provident fund, etc. And when he leaves, the entire thing has to be looked into again, right? So proper documentation of all the processes is very, very necessary. And especially if you are dealing with third parties. And even in this example, at least for the PF and all, you don't always have on-board consultants, right? You might be dealing with third parties. And they or you or people dealing with them may not understand what could go wrong if this information is breached or leaked out. Solution to this is simple. Involve all the relevant stakeholders. It might appear to be a very small thing. But what if the provident fund details of your employee gets breached? Of one employee, of multiple employees, everything goes off, right? Because that detail has his personal data, including sensitive like his financial data. People will know how much of provident fund he has accumulated, etc. You should do very comprehensive data mapping and alert all stakeholders and departments about this. And this is a very, 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 very basic small example. Then you have complexities of data processing activities, where processing might be very, very complex. Complex data processing operations, very large scale data processing activities might be done in your organization. For example, you are doing AI based processing. So you are not even processing it. Artificial intelligence is processing it for you. You are involved into cross-border data transfer. The data is moving out of the country, right? Break down your activities into sub-activities. So when you have large activities, large processing activities, break them down into smaller activities. Assess risk for those sub-activities separately. Don't take the entire project together, break it down and then talk about it. Like for example, a new customer gets boarded and the entire organization, again you break it in. How would sales handle the data? How would service handle the data? How would logistics handle the data? How would finance handle the data? How would the marketing itself would handle the data at the first point, right? Break them down instead of putting them together. Lack of expertise. Yeah, privacy is a new thing. As of today, it's new thing. Building an internal team with all levels, conducting DPIAs, dedicated resources is slightly difficult right now for small organizations. For organizations which are not very tech savvy, they can't buy softwares and implement softwares for privacy. They won't even understand, and I sometimes wonder that those softwares are not meant for all organizations. Solution to this, build internal trainings. Ideally, for smaller organizations, mid-sized organizations, you outsource your privacy to an outsource agency expert in handling privacy activities. Like you outsource your financial accounting activities, then the consultant is responsible for bookkeeping, for TDS, for GST, and he comes in and tells your invoicing guy how to charge GST, right? As the similar way, hire a DPO agency or a privacy agency who keeps training your people from time to time, builds practices for departments, does DPIA as well. Maybe at some stage when you find that it is getting larger, you start hiring internal people and still get an overseas view from the external agency to help you out with. Stakeholder involvement is very, very important. Stakeholders still are not very sure or confident that they need privacy compliance. And I said this because there's a cost to get compliant. They would say another set of consultants, they would say another 4 posts and a DPO post, right? So that could be a cost, but you need to explain them that this is important, or top management's buy-in is required. If the stakeholders are not able to drive the project, then there would be interdepartmental communication issues, miscommunications. So you have to have very clear roles for each department, each stakeholder, each and every smallest component of the department, and the data flow has to be documented accordingly. That's about the very few basic challenges of conducting and implementing DPIA. We'll talk about more. We'll talk about the operational challenges in our next video. So stay tuned with my channel, subscribe to it, and share your feedback in the comment section. And if you like this video, press the like and the bell icon. Thank you.